Okay, welcome in episode show number 71. 71. Tony Baselli. We'll salute Tony Baselli, Hall of Famer, only Jacksonville Jaguars player. And he played, you know, the mass majority of his career, 95% with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Went with the Texans in the expansion draft. The Jaguars had left him unprotected after injuries had mounted up on Tony and his career was shortened. Tony Baselli, one of the greatest left tackles of all time. Anthony Munoz might have been an eyelash better. I don't know. Those two guys were great. And Tony well deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. And that's really all I need to say about Tony Baselli. Two things. He's in the pride of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he wore number 71. I can also mention Leon Searcy, who played right tackle with the Jaguars. What a great offensive line they had. And please do bear in mind that the Jaguars need to draft offensive line to help in the 2025 draft. Normally the draft is in late April. I haven't checked the dates, but it's going to be around late April 2025. Jaguars lose to the Raiders. Al Davis probably smiling in heaven. I think the first time Jacksonville went out to play the Raiders on the West Coast, back when they were playing in California, now they're in Vegas. I think after the game, the Raiders won that game, and then I think they turned off the hot water to the showers. I'd heard a rumor about that. That was probably in the infancy, maybe the first year of the Jaguars. Al Davis, did he do that? Did he order someone, hey, turn off the hot water to the showers? It's initiation time for the new team. The Jaguars did have the last laugh in the old Oakland Coliseum where Gardner Minshew led a comeback over the Raiders. So it's not a rivalry, but there's been some profound and historic games between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. Internet appears to be running a little slow. Florida won the Gasparilla Bowl. How about that? The Florida Gators 33, the Tulane Green Wave 8 just a few days ago in the Gasparilla Bowl, played south of us down in Tampa. I got a message from a Jags fan, also a friend, and he gave me a stat, and this is a stat I wouldn't readily keep track of myself, but he saw a stat, and everybody sees stats from time to time, and maybe you've seen this stat or not. The Jags are 22-31 since firing Urban Meyer. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 22-31 since firing Urban Meyer. So they've done great. Had one playoff year, and it's right now after losing to the Las Vegas Raiders by the score of 19-14. The Jaguars have fallen, I think, almost back to the level they were before they even drafted Trevor Lawrence. 43 degrees was our low here in Jacksonville on Monday morning, December the 23rd. We'll take a look at some NFL games. Even though, despite the loss to the Las Vegas Raiders 19, the Jacksonville Jaguars 14. And despite the loss in that game, again, your player of the game is Jags rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. had 9 catches for 131 yards in this game. Did you see the play he called on the touchdown pass where the Jags ended up scoring and kicked an extra point and went up 14-13 and had the lead? And I believe that was in the third quarter. Oakland, I call them Oakland. Las Vegas Raiders scored another touchdown, missed on the 2-pointer, and the Jags still in the game with a chance. Mac Jones had a 4th down and 10 or 4th down and 11. He threw the pass short. DeAndre Johnson, wearing number 2, backup running back, caught the pass and tried to make a couple of moves, but fell probably 3 yards shy of the first down marker. I haven't taken a look at the defensive stats yet. You've got defenders underperforming. Maybe they played slightly better on Sunday against the Raiders, but these were, let's make no mistake about it, these were two bad football teams. But both of these teams have legitimate stars. The Jacksonville Jaguars have rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., 9 catches for 131 yards. On the other side of the field, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, have a tight end named Brock Bowers, rookie out of Georgia. These are the top 2 rookies in the league, I think. Brock Bowers and Jaguars rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. One of these 2 guys should win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And they both had great seasons. I think Thomas is over 1,000 yards. I think Bowers is pretty close to 1,000 yards. Great season, still a little bit more football to play. And a new GM coming in has got to salivate over this guy because Brian Thomas Jr. is a little bit faster. He was getting open like crazy. He really was. He was getting open 5, 10, 15 yards on a couple of pass plays, Brian Thomas Jr. Jalen Hurts had a concussion in the Philadelphia game. We'll talk more about some of the other games. But again, Jags wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., 9 catches, 131 yards. Coach Peterson, I didn't really watch much of the press conference. I saw some clippets or snippets, if you will. Coach Doug Peterson's main thing he said was mistakes and penalties. When I guess asked why the Jags were on the short end of the stick again. The Jacksonville Jaguars have fallen to 3-2 now. This is episode show number 71 of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Our brought to you by Realty and Capital for your real estate needs in North Florida. And you can put a link where it's also Realty and Capital on our homepage at bigjreport.com. You certainly can. So check out the website, bigjreport.com, all of your real estate needs in North Florida. Certainly remember Salsa Realty and Capital. There's a link right middle or toward the end of our weather reports on our homepage. We've got a couple of different weather reports that are completely updated. So check them out. 43 degrees was our low temperature. Wow. 7, not this cold. I wouldn't even call it cold at 43. It's very cool. High temperatures. We'll go around the NFL. Lose to the Raiders, as I told you. The Las Vegas Raiders 19, the Jacksonville Jaguars 14. Of course, Las Vegas. Internet loading kind of slowly with our 300 meg internet from Infinity Comcast. It's a good speed, but sometimes still the internet runs slowly. Let's see, are we still up? We're still moving along on the podcast. Okay. So want to thank our sponsors, Salsa Realty and Capital, madmaxmix.weebly.com, and Lake Eufaula Hits. Great folks. LakeEufaulaHits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. Check out JC live from the Thursday nights, Mad Max show on Wednesday nights. Mad Max taking a little holiday siesta from his show, but he'll be back in January, early January, with the madmaxmix.weebly.com. We'll go around the NFL. Raiders beat the Jaguars 19-14. A microcosm of the season. DeAndre Johnson, the backup running back for the Jags, caught that 4th down play, but he was 3 yards shy. Mac Jones should have waited a second longer and gone further downfield. You needed like 10 or 11 yards for the first down. On the defensive side of the ball, I think things can be summed up by this. Now, the Raiders only scored 19 points, but they got a bad football team. They got a great tight end, a great rookie tight end in Brock Bowers, who caught numerous passes. And in fact, I saw him catch one ball right off his shoelaces, went down and got it. Great hands. And Brock Bowers has great hands, and he's quick, and he's fast for a tight end. Very fast for a tight end and quick. On the other side of the ball, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars were lucky to get Brian Thomas Jr. After Balky traded back, you took a chance on losing it. But he was there, luckily, for the Jaguars at number 23. And I think he's faster. I think Brian Thomas Jr., who has got multiple double-digit touchdowns for the Jaguars now, I believe that he's faster than folks thought he was. And maybe he's game speed fast. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Brenton Strange, we started talking about him good in the last podcast. He had about what did Brenton have? About 10 or 11 catches the last game. Strange had 11 catches for 73 yards in the loss against the Jets. And Brian Thomas Jr. now has put back-to-back over 100-yard games back-to-back. And he's got over 1,000 yards for the season with still, 2 games left to play. The Jacksonville Jaguars have had just an awful season. 43 degrees was our low. I'm looking at the replay now. Number 2, DeAndre Johnson, 3 yards shy of the yellow line. Jags lose against the Raiders 19-14. I hope Balky will retire. Who should be the next Jaguars GM? We'll probably really go into that deeply in the next episode of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Please subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to our channel. And I believe you'll be glad you did, because we're going to have a lot of content. Jaguars, college football, the SEC. Georgia will play Notre Dame as the college football playoff continues. Ohio State made mincemeat out of Tennessee. Ohio State advances. Indiana got beat by Notre Dame, and the beat goes on. 12 teams are now down to 8, I believe now. Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17. Indiana is out. Ohio State blasted Tennessee. Tennessee had one of their patented first half struggles on offense, and a team getting into the playoffs, they can't play football like that. Tennessee won a lot of games in the regular season. They won some close games. They beat Florida in overtime up in Tennessee. Keep in mind, this game was played in Ohio State, and Ohio State annihilated Tennessee. Tennessee is out. Notre Dame beat Indiana. Notre Dame will play Georgia. You got Arizona State in the final 8 as well. Got some good football games coming up, and probably on the next episode, we'll dive deeper into college football. I mean, Texas is still alive, as you know, and you got some good football coming up, right? Good football coming up. Playoffs. Well, let's see. Texas Longhorns in the playoff in the SEC. Let's see. Texas Longhorns are playing. They lost to Georgia. Again, Texas lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game. Let's see. Okay. This game was just played, and I think this might have been the one score I missed. Texas beat Clemson. This is the one score I was looking for. Texas 38, Clemson 24. So Texas is in the final 8, along with Georgia, Notre Dame, Arizona State. Some good football still to come, but Texas did eliminate the ACC champs and Tigers. Texas with a 21-point second quarter. That was really the difference in the game. Texas 38, Clemson 24. So again, Texas is among the final 8 teams, along with Georgia, Notre Dame, Arizona State. Let's see, Boise State's still playing. They were one of the 4 teams that got a bye. Interesting football. Texas will play Arizona State, I believe. And is that the Peach Bowl? It's hard to keep up with all these bowls, 41 bowl games being played. And like I said, we're going to delve into more college football in the next episode. On this episode, though, we wanted to go around the NFL, episode show number 71. We'll check some scores around the National Football League. We know about the Raiders. We know about the Jaguars losing to the Raiders 19-14. On defense, I was almost getting to this. On the defensive side of the ball, the only thing you got to know about the defense is this. I mean, there's a couple of preliminaries. I mean, I like Buster Brown. He got a penalty yesterday, but he plays physical football, plays close up on the guy. I like Buster Brown. He's playing a lot of football. Some of these backup defensive backs, cornerback, safeties getting a lot of experience. And I think the Jaguars have some young guys, and these are even not the highest draft picks. Buster Brown, Antonio Johnson, and some of these guys are good football players. You got 3 first-rounders that have underperformed on the Jaguars' defense, and you know who they are. You know, Walker, Lloyd have underperformed, and even Josh Hines-Allen. We had back-to-back offside penalties on Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen in the loss to the Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders 19, Jacksonville Jaguars 14. We'll take a look at scores across the NFL. Understand that Jalen Hurts got a concussion in the first quarter of the game with the Washington football team and the Washington Commanders. And Washington won that game. Washington, I believe that was their 10th win of the year. Washington Commanders 36, Philadelphia Eagles 33. Cincinnati Bengals kind of put Cleveland out of their misery. Cincinnati 24, Cleveland Browns 6. These were the games played on Sunday, December the 22nd. Minnesota and Seattle. I got to grab my football pool here. Let me see. Minnesota won the game by 3 points. And let's see. We had Seattle. How about that? How about these apples? Minnesota's. We love Minnesota. They've had a great year. But listen to our pick. And I didn't get all my picks in on the podcast, but we do the football pool every week. It's well documented. But I picked Seattle. Seattle was at home. Minnesota was a 3.5-point favorite. Minnesota wins the game by 3 points. So we were getting 3.5 points. Minnesota won the game. Minnesota's having a great year. And I believe they still got a big game with Detroit coming up toward the end of the season here. Minnesota 27, Seattle 24. That was big for me in the football pool. Seattle got under the 3.5 points. Minnesota 27, Seattle 24. Cincinnati Bengals 24, Cleveland Browns 6. The LA Rams, and I'll just whisper this. Les Snead of the LA Rams. If you want a new challenge, and Shad Khan will quit pinching the Benjamins, you throw him a boatload or yacht load of money. What did I want to call this? A money is no object contract to Les Snead. I'm sure he has a window. Most everybody with these big NFL and even college coaches have this window where they could take another opportunity, but it's probably a short window. I don't know his exact contract. But my number 1 choice for Jacksonville Jaguars GM would be Los Angeles Rams, Les Snead. He's from the Southeast. He drafts well, got a lot of experience. He also won a Super Bowl as a GM with the LA Rams. And let me tell you something. He was a scout with the Jacksonville Jaguars in his early days of his NFL career, Les Snead. And Shad Khan, if you're listening, or somebody can get the word to Shad Khan, that's the guy you need to go after. He's, I believe, 53 years old. He's got probably another good 10 years in him. That's the guy I would go after to be the new Jacksonville Jaguars GM. Balky should be fired. Now I'm hearing rumors that Balky will retire. How about that? Save face, right? It's been an awful year. Jacksonville Jaguars are 3-12. LA Rams won. They beat the Jets, something the Jaguars could not do last week. The LA Rams 19, the New York Jets 9. Indianapolis Colts, I picked them to cover, and they did. Indianapolis Colts 38, Tennessee Titans 30. Detroit, one of the best 3 or 4 or 5 teams probably in the top 5 in the NFL. Detroit Lions, I think they've got 13 wins now. Detroit Lions smashed the Chicago Bears. Detroit Lions 34, Chicago Bears 17. Is Dan Campbell the coach of the year, maybe? Or is it the Minnesota coach? Carolina at home squeezed out a surprising victory over Arizona. Carolina 36, Arizona 30. Atlanta played their rookie quarterback. Kirk Cousins was on the bench for this one. In Atlanta, and I picked the Giants. I'm thinking the Giants are at least going to get under the spread for once. I mean, the spread was high, 10.5 points. I know Atlanta was at home, but my God, the Giants are terrible. I think the Giants are worse than the Jaguars. The Atlanta Falcons 34, the New York Giants 7, the final score. Baltimore beat Pittsburgh, and that was a Saturday football game. I believe the Baltimore Ravens 34, the Pittsburgh Steelers 17. I saw some of that football game. I'll say one thing now. Baltimore scored 34 points. The quarterback, Lamar Jackson, had a good game. He's staying healthier the last couple of years than he had in the past. I give him credit for that. But I will say this, and early in the game, Pittsburgh was really getting after him too. I wish the Jaguars could get after a quarterback like that. And I don't know what's happened on defense, but you got players underperforming. Now, under a new defensive coordinator, they're still underperforming. There's players not earning their salaries. I think most people would probably agree with me in that regard. Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker back-to-back offsides at critical times against the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders 19, the Jacksonville Jaguars 14. Kansas City beat the Houston Texans. I believe that was a Saturday game, right? Kansas City Chiefs 27, Houston Texans 19. I won't hit you with all the standings. LA Chargers. Let's see. The LA Chargers defeated the Denver Broncos, and that was actually the Thursday night game. LA Chargers 34, Denver Broncos 27. I picked the Chargers to cover, and they did. Let's see. The Chargers in that Thursday night game were actually a 3-point favorite. They won by 7, so we did win that one. In the pool, I'm still adding up the games in the pool. There's still a Monday night game to go. Green Bay hosting the New Orleans Saints. We took Green Bay. Man, how about that? At home, Green Bay to cover the 13.5 points. I'm taking a chance on that one. But that's going to about wrap it up for the NFL. Next podcast, we'll probably get into looking at the standings because we'll probably be back here tomorrow coming at you again with obviously another Teal Shirt Report podcast. This has been episode show number 71. We are absolutely brought to you by Saucer Realty and Capital. For your real estate needs in North Florida and surrounding areas, Saucer Realty and Capital. You'll find links for Saucer Realty and Capital on our homepage near and in the middle of the weather reports. Saucer Realty and Capital. Also, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com, LakeUFallahits.com, great internet radio. JC does his Thursday night show live from the pub. The Teal Shirt Report Fantasy Football League. I was in the championship game, but I lost to John Gaylor, Josh Allen. You know what hurt me in the Teal Shirt Report Fantasy Football Championship game? The Arizona Cardinals defense let me down. And Josh Allen didn't score enough points, and John Gaylor wins the Teal Shirt Report Podcast Fantasy Football League. That league's going to get bigger and better even next year. Thank you guys for watching the Teal Shirt Report Podcast. This has been episode show number 71. I want to thank our producer, our executive producer, JC. Kind of went AWOL during the holidays. I was trying to find him yesterday. JC, thank you for everything, though. Our executive producer, JC. Want to thank Alex Nunnery. Happy holidays to Alex Nunnery. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We're probably going to be back tomorrow, though, with another episode of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. This has been episode show number 71. Special thanks to our executive producer, JC. our another producer, Alex Nunnery, and our contributor and correspondent, John Gaylor. Thank you for everything. And John, congratulations on winning the Teal Shirt Report podcast fantasy football league. He and I had a small side wager, so you'll have that coming to you soon, Mr. John Gaylor. You guys have a great day. Thank you for tuning into the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll get all this stuff on the audio versions as well, but make sure you subscribe to the channel. Then you'll never miss the content. There's my thumb. Give us a thumbs up. Internet, I think, is running super slow for whatever reason. I mean, 300 meg internet, it should be running fast as lightning. But things happen. And of course, we're putting, we got a lot of things moving and running at the same time. We gave you most all the NFL scores. Did I hit everything? Indianapolis Colts 38, Tennessee Titans 30. Kansas City Chiefs in a Saturday game. Kansas City Chiefs beat the Houston Texans 27-19. I took Kansas City. Can you believe Houston was a 2.5 point favorite on the road? Man, I knew that was crazy to begin with. So I took Kansas City. They got underneath the 2.5 points and they won the game by 8 points. Wow. Again, the final score, the LA Raiders have really sealed the box on the Jaguars season. Jaguars aren't going anywhere. They're going to have a top 5 pick, top 3 pick, whatever it is. Offensive lineman to the new GM. You've got a playmaker in Brian Thomas Jr. You got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence who's better than most people think he is, I believe. He's better than our backup, Mac Jones. Mac Jones is the backup at the moment. Mac has played better at times in the last couple of weeks. Mac's thrown some TD passes. He's also thrown some interceptions. He's also thrown some balls short of the first down sticks. So I'm just telling it like it is. I'm under 30 minutes. Give us a thumbs up. There goes a thumb. Internet running a little slow today. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast. You guys have a great day. Thank you for listening and watching. If you want any high school football scores, we're still putting them up from the championship week, but I know that Reigns got beat, sadly, in the championship game, but we got the scores up at bigjreport.com. Check us out there. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast. You guys have a great day, okay? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.